ho, ho! Happy holidays, Christmas, Yuletide, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, Robonica, you name it. Hello and welcome. Welcome to the Warrior Workshop here on my channel. If it's your first time here, I am the one, the only, the Flintworth. It's a nickname. I actually don't go by that in my day-to-day life. But, it's good to be here. Looking forward to this like all week long, because today on this lovely show, we are going to be going on a journey to talk about the figure of this season for many people here in the US. I mean, I'm even Christian, and I still see the big guy in red as the symbol of the holiday season. I'm, of course, talking about Chris Kringle, St. Nicholas, Santa Claus. The guy who has it's a bowl full of jelly for a belly. Wasn't sure how, no, but that's not weird. Seeing out loud. It kind of was. But, it should be a good day. It should be a fun time. Let me turn down the sound there so you hear more of my voice and not the music I play in the background. But first things first. On this show, the Warrior Workshop, it is, of course, as you can see, a streaming show. So if you're watching this after the fact, hey, thank you for waiting around long enough to get to this point in the recording. Or if you're watching live, hi, welcome. Glad to have you here. Glad you're here to keep me company on this cold winter day, because it gets lonely sometimes being here on camera. Because I can tell you for sure that my little corgi is not around nearly enough to give me hugs, snuggles, and nuzzles on camera. No, someone's camera shy and hates being held. Yeah, look at those ears. Take off into flight with those ears, huh? But on this show, the Warrior Workshop, we're mainly focused on one simple task here. Taking our favorite pop culture characters, idols, folklorian legends, and brainstorming how we would play as them in D&D. We create goofy, wacky character builds. Now, I do have a few. Show now. Be gone, cutie. There you go. That'll show you just my feed when I'm on stream. Huh? Yeah. Few simple rules to these builds. The first is we're trying to avoid using too many homebrew ideas. Reason being is that, well, homebrew can be such, well, a hit or miss sometimes. And personally speaking, I don't ever want to encourage something that I haven't gotten a chance myself to try out. So going for things that are, been somewhat played tested, that's what we want. Because really, well, ideally this is kind of the help I'm trying to give to those who are trying to get into the hobby and just looking for inspiration, looking for a few tips or pointers on how to actually build their first character. Second rule typically here is trying to avoid a little bit of the third-party stuff. I mean, so it was printed and made for 5e, which is what the builds are namely for we try to produce here. Same kind of boat. It's not that I have anything against third-party stuff. In fact, I use quite a bit in my games, and hell, most of my videos has homebrewed third-party stuff that I've made. But no, I keep things simple overall. And 3 is to have fun, and there's no bad ideas, just bad impressions. But where to begin with old Saint Nick? Because if you think about it, there's a variety of different, well, takes on him. You can go with the good old Tim Allen version from the Santa Claus, which here's a series on right now, apparently on Disney Plus, which I didn't realize was even a thing. There's, well, the Coca-Cola version, which I imagine I might have to go and pay a few people even to talk about on the show, let alone put this figure up on stream. But really, personally speaking, my favorite version of Santa Claus has always come from the classic Rankin Bass animation special, Santa Claus is Coming to Town. Now, it's probably not really aged that well by most standards. I mean, it certainly is aged better than Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, and I will stand by that, because old Rudolph, man, some of the stuff in there is like, oh yeah, they treat the women folk, as they say in that film, awfully with a very little respect. I'm not gonna try to stretch it. Then they have like, oh, that's not aged well at all. I mean, at least in Santa Claus Comes to Town, most of it's, pretty great. Save for one very singular moment. If you've ever seen it, I'm talking about a sequence in the film where it's called basically "If You Sit on My Lap Today." A kiss a toy is the price you pay. I mean, it's again for the time. It's like, oh, Santa Claus is trying to show generosity, trying to teach the same to the kids, and like, hey, sit on my lap, show that you're sweet. You don't really need, it's just a little peck on the cheek and we're good to go. But yeah, I mean, out of context, this sounds creepy, which is a shame. It's a shame because in that version of Santa Claus, he's played by Mickey Rooney, who would actually go on to play Santa again in another special we've been talking about a lot on this show this month, A Year Without a Santa Claus. And it's hard for me to not hear Mickey's voice and not think, oh, Santa! Because there's also another word Santa I could think of there too, from Elf, which I should really talk about at some point on the show. But here, once again, I've gone to the Rankin Bass Phantom Wiki, and just wanted to find a few photos of who I'm talking about here, like namely this jolly old elf right here. Look at that little rosy nose. Look at those happy little cheeks and his lack of a fourth finger. Gosh, I know most animation things don't really have. Is that gonna be oh gosh, if that's gonna do it every time I switch back and forth. I got a new phone, by the by, and it's great. It's fantastic. However, I've been noticing a few glitches. You see that? Yeah, I might have to just turn that off. Just make sure it doesn't happen every time. See, there it is again. All right, I'm gonna turn that off too, so you don't have any weird effects getting in the way. Anyway, so good old Saint Nick here. I mean, he's not just in those two specials from Rankin Bass. There is quite a few of them. I mean, it's hard to go through any of the specials and not see him, appear once or twice. Like you got the little skinny Santa from Rudolph. You have his, frankly, kind of jolly animation from Frosty. But the one we're looking at here is always going to be Chris Kringle, the lovable redhead from Santa Claus Is Coming to Town. Now, I think one of the benefits also kind of like looking at good old Chris as our focus today. It's mainly that, unlike the other Santa Clauses that I've spoken of, they don't really do much outside of the legends we're all kind of like used to. I mean, legends such as, he flies around reindeer, makes toys, goes down a chimney, all that jazz. But in Santa Claus Comes to Town, he actually does stuff at his young age. He goes kind of on adventures. He avoids guards. He befriends penguins and warlocks. He's a criminal, man. He is a kind of a dirty thug with one hell of a heart and smile of gold. And I felt like, okay, if I was going to go make a Santa Claus player character, him is what I would base it on. So, I mean, I guess that's a long-winded way of saying that, yeah, our Santa Claus creation is going to be based on him. I guess it's worth saying, that technically there's also the actual man that was based on, old Saint Nick, but this is going to be a sad thing to admit, because seeing as I actually went to a Jesuit high school growing up, my church history was just... It's any wonder I converted. Bottom line, I know very little about the actual St. Nicholas, and frankly, it's hard to compare to him right there. Now, few things I want to point out that if you clicked on this title if you clicked on this video looking at the title, you should notice that I said, hey, we're going to be making an elf today. And I realize that's kind of going counter to Chris here, who clearly is a human, but he was raised by elves. And I don't know, to me, when I was looking through the races, I wanted to go with something that something that kind of, you know, acknowledged a lot of, like, the energy we hear from songs all the time. Like, basically, he's a jolly old elf. So, that's probably why I wanted to go with an elven race, which we'll get to in a hot second. Actually, come to think of it, there was another Claus I missed, and that was Klaus from the Netflix series. I think he was voiced by J.K. Simmons, and if you've ever seen the animation, you should check it out. It's really good. I know I'm not alone in saying that, but for whatever reason, if one of you random lovable folks have watched this far in to hear a guy from Wisconsin give praise to a certain Netflix movie, then so be it! Go watch Klaus. Do yourself a favor. It's beautifully animated, it has a great story, and I don't know, it's a nice fresh take on Santa. I think more people need to see. But I digress, because we're getting away from the focus of today, which is going to the build. So let's head to my digital workshop online, and I do want to say yes, the Klaus with a K, yes, and hi Reg, thank you for popping in once again. Always makes me smile to see at this point most of my regulars come to these things. But yes, Klaus with a K, I want to say. I think it's like a minus an E though. Anyway, just for those who may watch this who are not my regulars, yeah, feel free to ask any questions, put out shout outs to really anything I'm looking to do, whether it's like background or stat choices. I know Reg has given me plenty of food for thought in the past with questioning my stat choices. Okay. And this is the point of the show where I give the nice disclaimer that today, as always, we're going to be using Roll20 to build this character. And I'm using Roll20 not because they sponsored me, though they really should, considering how much I talk about them on this show, but mainly because that's where I have the most experience on, and that's where also I've spent the most hours and money, and it's just, yeah. Okay. Though you can also certainly do this with, well, D&D Beyond, classic paper and pencil, you know, the whole kibosh, the whole 9 yards. That said, I'm going to get this all set it up. I do want to give a quick thank you to those who have joined us with the Little Shop of Horrors video. We've had like a bit of an uptick, not only in subscribers, but also activity. I've had almost like ongoing conversations on my videos most of the week, which is distracting, but nice. Very nice. Anyway. I have to ask, Reg, how are you doing? Doing well? Looking forward to the weekend? Got any big plans? I'm gonna name this bloke Chris Kringle. Well, then again, to be fair, is Santa Claus really copyrighted at this point? I don't think so. So, you know what? To hell with it. I'm gonna call him Santa Claus. Yeah, holiday. Fuck yeah. Okay. Cartomancer. Alright. Check out my thing on the side. Looks like you can see most of it, which is good. It's a nice change of pace for goddamn once. In fact, I want to make sure this is actually perfect for you. Nope, that's that. I want this. Thank you very much. There we go. And that should give you a solid view of what I'm seeing here. Yeah, it actually looks better than it has in a long while. All right. Jeez. No, still cuts off a little bit of it, but progress. Okay, race. Like I said, the start of the introduction to this. Personally, I cannot suggest more going with an elf because I think I should, before I explain elf, maybe I explain elf. I think I should also kind of tie into class here, which I know is coming up next. But the reason why I go with elf is also a little bit of the night effect from like the lore reasons I mentioned earlier, but also has a nice bonus in dexterity that all elves get, and the fact that they also live for gosh darn forever also fits in with the Santa Claus legend. On the flip side, with the classes, I mean, there's a variety of a few ones there I would say kind of work with Santa Claus. Like even Druid wouldn't be that bad. However, I think it was one of my viewers, like I forget who first suggested it, but yeah, Rogue is by far, in my opinion, like the way to go, because the guy breaks and enters in people's homes and steals their milks and cookies and leaves like a calling card, which I guess you can call a present, but still, that guy's ransacking innocent cookie jars across the U.S. Where's the justice in that? All right, so alignment. I would say chaotic good, honestly, because old Saint Nick doesn't really strike me as the kind of bloke to be lawfully good. Yes, he does have to keep the naughty and nice list, but he also, in all the various forms I've seen him on media or stories, always strikes me as being awfully oh yeah, King. Yeah, I'm surprised he's not here yet, Reg. Yeah, Reg said King, who else? And yeah, other regular here, I can't pronounce words today. N King has also been very active as of late. What was I gonna say? What was I gonna say? What's my train of thought? I'll come back to the station sooner or later. But yeah, chaotic good, that's what I was talking about. And Reg, by all means, feel free to give your own 2 cents here. But to be chaotic good, I think, is the way to go when going with a character like this, because he often does things, you know, yeah, he understands that sometimes you do bad things for good reasons, or you need to do some bad for good. And I think that's what Santa Claus would care more about. It's not like now by the law, because if he was, good lord, would you have to know like the rules of every land across the globe? That just sounds insane. So chaotic good by far, by far. So naturally humanoid, medium, speed 30. I'll break into your yeah, exactly. Exactly, Reg. Okay, perception. You can speak, read, and write Common Elvish. Elvish is fluid with simple implementations and intricate grammar. I honestly, if we could at some point in your game, if you get the DMs okay, you should straight up make your elf have know all languages, because I swear Santa would have like a tongue, like a babblefish level tongue for those. At least a few of you got the babblefish reference. I need to read more Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. Anyway, you get those benefits. Kind of, I mean, the more you look at it, the more it makes sense for Santa Claus. Like you get trance, where that you don't really need to sleep. Dark vision, the guy is always working at night. It just makes sense. Recall when I was looking at Elven Sum races, I think I went with, and this would be a thing from Mordecai's Tome of Foes. I want to say it was Eldarin. Yeah, it was Eldarin, because the Eldarin elves are kind of cool. They're based on various seasons throughout the year, and I just love the flair of adding that little bit extra of, well, in this case, more specifically, snowy touch to our Santa build here, because granted, the personality traits don't really work for Santa, because, like, for instance, you know, a penny spent is a penny lost forever. I mean, that's kind of shrewd, especially for Saint Nick. Very much for Saint Nick. But I mean, how many people actually use the personality traits? Really? I mean, this kind of fill it in, and how many times can I totally see someone doing something like this and being like, yeah, I'm gonna be a rebel. I'm gonna be an elves with this, but I want the powers though. Like, yeah, the DM would be like, yeah, go ahead. But here's the big things I want to show from this. So the first is you get a few cool steps. The first one I really like is the fact, because a lot of these elves are kind of based in the Feywilds, hence their ties to weather. But you get things like Fey Step, which basically is like almost a free Misty Step that you can use during fights, which I could see Saint Nick, Mr. I can, touch my nose and flap the chimney would be makes me use something like that. But also changeable nature. This one I can't remember. Let me refresh my memory. What's the benefit of that one? What's the stat mod? Ah! Nice. So basically, yeah, it allows you to change your nature based on the weather. So basically, yeah, so throughout the year, like Santa Claus can really get into the groove of the world around him. Let's actually look at those stats here. They're kind of nice. Here we go. Okay, so it actually has more flair to certain abilities, mainly the face step. So it's like, for instance, if you use this during the winter and was like winter aligned, pardon me, yeah, you could, looks like if winter aligned, you get benefits like you can make basically someone be frightened of you as you teleport away. If you're in the fall, let's see, 116, or if you use the fall line, you can charm them, which is kind of cool. And the spring, let's see, you can use it to teleport other people, which is kind of fun. And the summer, let's see, your face step, each creature your choice. You can dish out fire damage. That's kind of awesome. I missed that when I was doing my research prior to the stream. So effectively kind of gives, yeah. Holy scheisse, fat man. I mean, I'd be terrified too if a very large, dressed in red old man just popped out of the ether laughing like a fool. Yeah. I mean, there's a reason why there's so many movies out there where Santa has gone against someone, like Santa Claus conquers the Martians, Santa Claus fights Krampus in a Christmas, horror story. Santa, I think, can actually kick some A, you know what I mean? Alright. Let's go with, let's see, so class, yep, gotta go pick up that rogue. Skill proficiencies, well, naturally, you gotta have stealth. I was gonna say sleight of hand, personally. Acrobatics, I would say, considering how that man can scale, probably has to scale some walls or scale some weird chimneys. And probably performance, if anything. You can put on a show for the kids once in a while, right? Or maybe no, probably persuasion to make sure people, don't, to persuade people with this jolly cheer and stuff. Yeah. Anyway, expertise. Oh, it's, yeah, probably thieves' tool and sleight of hand, because you can't tell me that in all the years Santa has been doing the job that he hasn't at some point didn't have enough magical energy to break into someone's house. Like, can you imagine like some of the preppers out there who still maybe have kids that believe in Santa Claus and be like, how does Santa get in past the moat and the minefield and through the laser gridded chimney? I suppose you could say magic, but I don't know, it seems kind of a cop-out to me. I kind of like the idea of like Santa Claus full-on Mission Impossible-ing his way to your tree to drop off your kid's gift. Yeah. With that, though, you get the nice additions of like thieves' cant. So basically, you can read like a secret, edgy language of the rogues, sneak attack. I don't know. Actually, I'm attacking. I guess you can go for like a nice hardened Santa Claus, but the thing is always something people forget when it comes to D&D or any kind of like combat game is that you don't necessarily have to go to attack to kill. If you make it known that you do attack or whatever, that you're doing it to like knock out, unless your DM is a dick. Yeah, I mean, you could play as Santa Claus, you sneak attack, do all the fun stuff, and get through a game without killing. Yeah, oh gosh. Thieves' Can is differently pitched ho-ho-hos. Now okay, the more I make this character, the more I actually want to see it in action is doing just that, right? Like, ho ho ho, don't worry guys, I've got this. Oh, ho ho ho, Zanzibar, how are the kids? Ho ho ho, ho 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 ho, ho 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 ho, ho ho ho, the orcs attack at dawn. Ho ho ho, and God. That'd be so silly. Love it! Yeah, I would roleplay that with the player as a DM. How could you not? Alright, you know, I haven't been rolled for stats in a while. I've been doing a lot of, like, standard array, and... let's get old. Okay, here we go. That's a nice little fun batch. Alright, so we got 7, 13, 14, 15, 16, and 17. Now, if I recall, yep, dexterity and charisma. Well, perfect! So, we'll probably do 17 first, though, with this Elven lineage. He makes it 19 right away, which is nice. Charisma out to go for that 16. This is where things get rough. Honestly, I'm kind of inclined to give Santa a 7 to his constitution. Only for the fact that he's an old man. And yeah. You wouldn't, but okay. Yeah, constitution would be probably at 7 exactly. Because the old man, and I really can't see him having a 7 in strength, considering he does have to carry around that large bag everywhere. Filled with toys, no less. True, I don't know, he is magic. That is true, that is true. And he is pretty spry for his old age. Okay, let's flip those around, because I don't want to make him too weak. So keep that at 13. Santa could take some blows. I would say he probably has more wisdom than actual intelligence, but with the spreader, they're kind of the same, so it works out. And to be fair, he also, if not him, maybe one of his elves, does have the know-how to make and/or program high-tech toys and video games for the kiddos. Unless they get them specially shipped from the factories wherever they're made. Oh god. So I like that. We'll keep it at that. Alright. Background. Herman might kind of work. He lives by himself. Folk hero, he's... This is always tough. By the way, for those who are watching this in for the first time, criminal? What hell? Let's look at a criminal here real quick. Suppose you get more benefits into stuff. But real quick, yeah. All my backgrounds, actually everything else in Roll20, is pulling from all the resources I have bought on the site. So a lot of this, I'm getting stuff from the player's handbook, from a few modules like Curse of Strahd and Ghosts of Saltmarsh, as well as plenty of extra kind of like appendixes? Yeah, either way. I also have basically Volo's Guide to Monsters and Xanathar's Guide to Everything, as well as Tasha's Cauldron of Everything. A lot of everythings. Ugh. Let's get the criminal background. Oh, deception. He already has stealth. He would kind of lose it out that way. He already has proficiencies to thieves' tools. But what else? Criminal contact. You know, if it didn't have the other ones chosen, I would say yes. It's a good choice. It's a good option. Criminal is also funny as hell, which I like. What's hermit do again? I think it's just like basic, yeah. Out of the wilderness kind of hermit. Not the fun cam. Glad you do. Glad you do. The quiet seclusion of your extended hermitage gave you access to a unique and powerful discovery. The exact nature of the vision depends. I don't want to do hermit. Hermit sounds lame sometimes to me, honestly. Outlander. Let's see. Athletics, survival, wanderer, memory of maps and geography. Yeah, I can see maybe wanderer might be like this is the closest. Because then you can at least a little bit of the more magical side with like tool proficiencies. I also see Santa's walking around with a horn. Kind of fun. Language. Yeah, let's go more language here. Give him Dwarf. Why not? Yeah, Dwarven. But the main thing I like about this is that you have the bonus of the Wanderer. You have an excellent memory for maps and geography. You can always recall the general layout of terrain. Folk Hero is kind of overplayed, maybe, kind of close. I mean, I was close to doing Folk Hero, but I think Folk Hero is more so like, hey, you like saved a town or something like that. Yeah, I agreed. Outlander's more fun. Origin, Bounty Hunter, Pilgrim. Yeah. Love Pilgrim. Wanderlust. Let me from home. That's kind of basically what it is. Watch my friends. Watch over my friends as if they were a litter of newborn pups. Yeah, that sounds the closest to Santa Claus. Like to him, the world is his friend. I was in fact raised by wolves. Nah. I'm more comfortable around animals than people. I mean, he does have 8 tiny reindeers as his travel companions. I think they're my wanderlust, the me away from home, because that guy travels around the world once a year. Granted, a lot of these things you can probably follow your own ideas. You don't actually have to follow any of these. But I'd like to see how close we can get. Let's see. Oh yeah, greater good. It's each person's responsibility to make the most happiness for the whole tribe. Yeah, that sounds like Santa. Bond. I'll bring on terrible wrath down on the evildoers who destroyed my homeland. Honestly, I feel like that'd be a better of a choice for Krampus than Santa Claus. By the way, I'm looking forward to releasing the Krampus video. I'll probably be working on it over the course of the weekend, but it should be out on Monday. I was in fact raised by capitalism. That, that'd be. Can I write that in now? I might have to write that in later. That's funny. Let's see. Screw it. Double wrath down on evildoers. He'll go and coal you to death. I am too enamored of ale, wine, and other intoxicants. Can you change that to like I am too enamored of cookies and milk, or just cookies and sweets, because that'd be kind of perfect. Honestly, I think like that. There's no room for caution in life. Live to the fullest. Yeah. I mean, Santo seems like a YOLO kind of guy, which is funny considering that he's, essentially immortal. Choosing equipment. We're gonna go with class equipment because we're not insane. What are you starting with? I'm curious. Now screw that now. Back to class equipment. A cookie addict. Exactly. Let's see. Rapier or short sword. Let's see. How would Santa stab a bitch? Short sword or rapier? Honestly, I could see if you carry a little toy short sword. I mean, there's no saying it has to be metal. Unless if you flavor the rapier. to be like a what is it called? Those look like little ski sticks. Nah, keep it a short sword. It's funnier. Icicle. There we go. Yeah, an icicle. Hey, End. Welcome, welcome, buddy. We were talking about you earlier. Only good things, we swear. Seriously though, good to have you here. Happy holidays. Welcome to essentially the. You think we were talking to ourselves? Wonder if it was you who came up with this idea. We're saying this. Okay. Let's go with keep the whole toy idea. Short bow with quiver and arrows, but those arrows I swear will most likely have like those little suction cup things, which of course did Jack to keep them from hurting you. Trust me. I should know. I've been shot by those things. Gotta love having a brother. Arrows made from candy canes. Yes, that's better. Candy cane arrows. Any way you can candyfy this up, you have to. You just have to. Let's see. Burglar's pack. I think that'd be more fitting for old Saint Nick. Yeah, let's go with burglar's pack so you can like break into the houses to drop off the goods. All right. Okay. Do this real quick. Age. Ancient. Or just jolly old. Jolly? Yeah, let's do jolly. Jolly old. Oldly jolly? Jolly old. Height. Average, I'd say. Yeah. Weight. Fat. By far. Santa Claus shows up in Hellboy? I've been meaning to read through that series for ages. I have the whole collection on my shelf, and I've like gotten halfway through it. I don't know how many times. Every time I try to start from the beginning to go through, I stop somewhere by like the Wild Hunt or somewhere in there. But I love Hellboy. I should do like a creature creator or workshop on him at some point. That'd be fun. I've used the board game for a lot of my videos. Eyes, focus, James, focus. Blue, very blue. Erasing this off of Chris Kringle from the Rankin Bass short. Hair, white. Skin, like jelly. Oh no, I like that. This sounds nasty. Let's go with. Yeah, there we go. Also white. Because we give him much sun up north. Alright. Apply. Oh, yeah. I remember that one. That is a nice one. Sweet story. Just put... Never! I've had to fill out those things so many times. It's hard not to do it cheekily. I'm sorry. All right, look at here. Oh gosh, strength -2. Ooh, he cannot lift for crap. Dexterity of 4. Okay, he's nimble. Okay, 1, 12, 2. Okay, cool. But how does he roll? Let's see. Santa, I need you to go and give me a sneak attack against the Grinch. And poke. Woo! Let's see what happens with the nat 20. Okay. Not bad for your first roll there, Nicky boy. You got, let's see, 13. Not bad, not bad. What class is Santa? Santa is a rogue. He's the one I have designed. Good berries. Yeah, that's what's kind of this thing before I was saying. It's kind of torn between a rogue and a druid. You can always multi-class it that way. Let's do that today. Screw it. We're gonna change it up a little bit. Now we can give him an animal companion and stuff. Oh yeah, Santa's a reverse Grinch. Maybe. All right. So let's at least give him level 3 in Rogue, so you give him at least an archetype, because I'll get the Arcane Trickster in there. But let's multi-class that. Get him some Druid levels for funsies. There we go. He's going to choose a circle. Oh boy. There are too many options for Druid. That's the big question, though. If we're going to go and try to sneak in Druidism in there somehow, which circle? I'm trying to regret just on the fly throwing that in. Let's see. Druid circle. Yes, please. Suppose you're right, it does. Let's see. Circle of the Land is made up of mystics and sages who safeguard ancient knowledge and rites through a vast oral tradition. These druids meet with sacred circles of trees or standing stones. Okay, blah blah blah. Good cantrips, cool. Maybe sneak in a few more magical antics. Extra recovery, blah blah blah. Let's see though. Arctic. Okay. It doesn't really come until the 3rd level. Do you actually get to choose like what land you're connected to? Whole person, spike growth, sleet storm, snow, free. Okay. So we'll do this then. We'll give that a boost to level 3, so that we actually can go and do Circle of the Land. Because I like the idea to tie in the Arctic side of things. That'd be fun. So, moving on. Okay, which means we get a whole plethora of stuff here. So I'll go over those in a hot second. But the big things I do want to bring up. Big winter and Christmas themed animals, snow rabbits, reindeers, pallbearers who drink Coke. Yeah. Let's see. Well, Circle of the Land is the first big one here. So we get, the actual jump to having more. Let's see if we can give you a better view of this. There you go. Get you more of spell casting and access to cantrips. You also get the lovely, lovely giant list of wild shape, which to sum up basically allows you to go with certain beasts based on your level. To which I really hope one day they see better ways for new players to actually get what that list is, because, like, I'm not sure about you two, Reg and King, but it seems like every time I have a player who wants to be a druid, it ends up with them spending most of their game, like over the campaign, teaching themselves how to play the damn thing, because out of all of them, I feel like druid's the hardest to learn. So of course, most of my new players have gone with druid, the lovable, insane nut jobs. Hopefully, the upgraded going forward. Hope Wizards of the Coast, as I meant to say, as they go forward with like this one D&D thing, make it more accessible. That's the word, accessible. But circle spells. We're gonna go with Arctic. Let's see. I'm kind of bummed. Okay, here we go. Here's the big thing I wanted to show though for today. Not only took 12 scrapped characters. Someone should make an online guide just for Druid. I would be surprised if there's not like channels already dedicated to just teaching the Druid class. I'm surprised. I think considering like all the problems with it, that it somehow is still better than the Ranger class. I feel bad for Rangers. Yeah, Flint's like, oh, is that a hint? Listen, bud, I'm already busy with everything else I've been doing. I'm not sure if I have the fortitude to just switch the whole ship just to focus on druids. Maybe because he spent one video. I don't know. Someone should. Rag, you're very feisty today. Kind of like it. It's funny. right, but the big things here. What's kind of cool about the Trickster Rogue is that it does have like all the your typical rogue loadout things, but the big thing I liked is that you get at 3rd level this Mage Hand Ledgermain ability that basically allows you to have like the spell Mage Hand to help you kind of like place or steal objects, which to me just felt so on point to what a rogue, at least Santa, would do. Like, I know it's designed to like take other things, but you retrieve an object in a container worn or carried by another creature. Use thieves' tools to pick locks and disarm traps at range. Like, it just increases the Santa's abilities to getting where he wants to, or to get to the tree or whatever. It just makes the kid just kind of expand. Is your Santa friends with the Pumpkin King? I think he means Jack Skellington from A Nightmare Before Christmas. And no, I actually didn't consider Jack into this at all. This is mostly based off of the Rankin Bass Santa Claus. That would be this jolly guy right here from Santa Claus Comes to Town. So I don't see why not. You could have Jack Skellington from the Disney classic be tied into this somehow. Kind of cool. Let's see. Land, I do like that with Druid you get a chance to get a wild companion, which you could then tie into any series of the animals that Santa Claus has him flying around him, whether it be penguins, reindeer, yetis. I don't think yetis would work, but spells. All right, moving on. Exactly. One thing I've loved about this month with the 3 classes we've been kind of building and working on have all been, designed around classic, popular, play styles. You have, the classic bard who usually is horny, but with Tundra Miser was geared more towards charming your foes while also buffing your allies. So not really doing a whole lot of role-playing for themselves, more so for the team, which I enjoy. I think that's what bards should be more of. Whereas our Mordor Miser, forgot the name there for a second, was designed to really kind of play up a character like that and kind of be that shield and use their temper to their advantage. And here now we finally have, with Santa, a rogue that has all the skills to steal, take, and lie, but being used to be generous, give back, and just make the world brighter. And that's what I love about this game, about not just D&D, but the hobby in general, is how you can take game mechanics that on paper are meant to be aggressive and dark, and finding fresh ways to use them to do the opposite, to kind of like subvert expectations. I've always loved subverting expectations. Agreed. More players should make tight-knit characters who play off each other. I mean, that's kind of fun, because I always hear people say, like, oh, you come to me when I come to my games, they always talk about how, or ask me, what is the group missing? And like, oh, do we have a tank, do we have a healer, and all that. And I always try to tell them, don't worry about it. I try to scale the game's combat and what have you to fit the play styles of my players. I would love to see them going forward. But you know what? I'm going to play this character, like you say, so I can be a great foil to the other person. Like, granted, we might be both attacking, but we're going to have a fun time attacking our foes. It'd be nice to change in pace, essentially. The Easter old... What? Rag writes in, did you know that in Chile, Santa is... I'm going to butcher this. El Vieto Pasajero. Gosh, I'm such a Midwesterner. That translates into the Easter old man. Yeah, screw it. I think, we should call Santa that from now on. The Easter old man, because that just sounds fun. Oh, yeah. All right. So, Let's look at cantrips, shall we? So it's from the druid class. I think naturally, some chilling touch to kind of go off the whole Santa Claus kind of thing. Ray of Frost would be nice. How many choices I get? I think 4 overall. Okay. I think let's say friends and comprehend languages. No. Probably control flames above fires and stuff like that. That'd be kind of cool. And friends? Like oh, guidance. Yeah. I would love to see Santa just be laughing his butt off to help guide his friends. Yeah, that's what I was thinking with friends. So let's keep chill touch, get rid of control bond or control flames and put in friends, because that way then you have your 2 nice, if you need it, attack spells, but also then you have kind of a controlling the field if you need it to have too many foes on your hand. Wait. Oh, that's right. It's a necromantic, isn't it? Yeah, it's necromancy. Thank you for the reminder, Rag. That would have been embarrassing. Though, actually, I'll take that back. It could be kind of cool, too. Oh, I hear you've been a very bad boy this year, Johnny. I'm sorry, Santa. I'll be better next year. But I understand you just need to give me some coal. Like, oh no, Johnny. This year, you get death. True, yeah. I got excited there, admittedly. Frostbite might work. Double check. Yeah, let's go with Frostbite. Where is it? There we go. Oh no! I think next year we'll have to look at Santa Clauses that would be villains or Santa Claus or horror Santas or evil Santas. Because like this guy needs more. Can never have too many slashers. Can never have too many horror films to cover. I'll admit, I've been trying desperately to not be entirely on horror, but at this point I'm almost starting to embrace the fact that I'm an unabashed horror fan, and I've been awfully enjoying the fact that a lot of the creature creators that do take off, a lot of the workshops that go far are the ones that are based on horror characters. Actually, I take it back. A lot of the workshops that have been doing well are the ones based on video game characters. So I think that's why next year I'm trying to focus so much more on both horror and video games. Yeah. Bill Goldberg Santa. Who's that? I feel like I should know that. Let's do this before I start bringing up something that shouldn't be on camera. Oh, you mean from Santa's sleigh? Yeah. I can see that one year. Like I should just do straight up year on actual like evil Santas and stuff. Yeah, I've seen recaps or just read synopsis. It's on my to watch list for sure. But okay, we need to choose 8 spells. All right. And mind you, these are ones on. You can add 3 rogue, 3 spells. You can add 5. Okay, so there's actually a mix of both spells you get from my Arcane Trickster class as well as Druid. Okay, that's kind of cool. Explains why you have so many options. I have to choose so many right now. Okay, let's see. We got a mix of level 2 and level 1. Right off the bat, I'm honestly going to have to immediately put on their Misty Step if it's one of the options, because to me that just screams Santa. No, Atasha's hideous laughter, making people laugh so hard that they just hurt themselves. Seems like a Santa attack. Good bearing healing word we fought. Excuse me. Santa just causes fear. Let's see. How many I got here? 3 rolls. So let's do 4 and 4 maybe. Healing Spirit. It's been a while since I heard that one. What's that one again? Tell me. Call forth a nature spirit to soothe the wounded. The gentle spirit appears in a space. Yeah, that screams Santa. So he's kind of like a rogue that also heals and can change shape. This would be such an interesting class to play. Or character. Summon beast. I summon a reindeer. Find traps I could see. To get to kind of play out the whole sneaking into someone's house side of things. He really doesn't really need dark vision. He calls a Roggenwolf. I think that's from a third-party spell. I might not choose that one. True, pass without a trace is essential. Very good point. Okay, so we got three. Magic Missile would be kind of funny, especially if you go the route of saying, hey, you're throwing snowballs at people, which I kind of like. An Ice Knife, maybe. All those are fun. I love Ice Knife. Hated it when it didn't actually have a proper programming thing in Roll20, because it would only do like the initial Ice Dagger throw, not the explosion afterwards. It's one of my favorite spells. Yeah, I like that. 5 and 3. So you got a little bit of like utility spells, a little bit of attack spells, healing in there. It's interesting kind of mock-up, and because of his race and class choices, he also does get a nice mix of, how do you say, abilities that helps kind of fill in the blanks of spells we didn't take. What was that? All right. So here's our level, our multi-classed Santa Claus, who is a Elven Arcane Trickster Rogue Circle of the Lands Druid, who is an Outlander. He's the only rogue who can sneak while wearing jingle bells. Yep. Alright, I'm actually curious. Let's do that attack roll again with his rapier. I'll still say it's a sneak attack. Come on. With his icicle rapier. 8, that's not so great, but let's see what this the 25 there. Okay, 16. Not bad. Not bad at all. Okay. But then you get things like Magic Missile. I mean, this kind of build makes out our Claus here to not be that fantastic of an attacker, but more of an all-arounder. You kind of fill in the blanks for other party members who might specialize in more exact stuff. Yeah. You know, speaking of like default races, I didn't realize this until today. I was helping out someone else asking questions on the channel. But I guess I need to pick up Mordenkainen's book on like monsters of the multiverse, because apparently it has a collection of all of the races collected across the various different books into one place, which would be really handy because it could be having so many more racial options as you build characters on the show. So I might have to look into that for the new year. It's okay if Santa isn't a murder machine. Yeah. Though it is missing the opportunity to have them come in and say, hey, I'll come and deck your halls. Look at myself. Okay. Right. Well, I mean, I could go on discussing this stuff. I feel like I've already talked a lot about a lot of these different things while making the Claus here today. That sounds amazing, Rag. Okay, for those who are watching this later, he just asked, I wanted to ask you about a monk based on the Three Stooges. I'm going to have to do that at some point. I actually grew up on the Stooges. My dad and I are big fans, and I'll see how that would be a fantastic one-shot between you and your friends, the all intentionally made together at the same time. Oh, now that's what I want to see one day. That You know, I didn't realize I had a bucket list of games I wanted to run, Reg, but now I do. I want to see this. God, they'd be so dumb. They'd be so dumb and have such high constitutions. They'd be so short, too. The 3 not-so-stooges, ha! Combine that with Buster Keaton. Buster Keaton was cool, too. Man, we're talking about making some characters based on some old-school Hollywood stars. That'd be interesting. I'll add that to the list for next year. Speaking of which, I do feel my caffeine's starting to wear off, so I might be dying within the half hour, so I probably should wrap this up soon. But here's a few things. One, this will be the last Warrior Workshop for the year. I decided that instead of doing a Warrior Workshop the last week of the month, because next week I'm taking the week off after I get Krampus out, because I want at least a week off of that quick little mini break, because I haven't had one since I started this channel back in 2021. So, kind of due for some good rest. But, the following week, the last week, I'm hoping, I will be running one last stream, but it's going to be a Q&A. It's going to be a quick Q&A, a little wrap-up of the year, looking at, what we've all kind of made together, gives you a chance to ask anything of me, the shows, or really just, I don't know, other hobbies or stuff I have. And it's if I ask you a few things of you guys, it's a chance to kind of relax and reminisce. Maybe even to talk about future plans for 2023. But yeah, I just wanted to have a nice, just, I don't want to say a laid back, but something that didn't require so much prep. It's a little bit different just to end the year on. And yeah, after that, January will be straight into new creature creators, new workshops, and the new series I want to start, which I did post a picture of, the concept of, on my YouTube community page on the channel. The Haunted Hangouts. The idea is, I think you two already know this, I'm just saying this for posterity for the recording, that I want to start... I'm trying to get requests for things I've never played before, I've never seen before, and I want to go and be able to, well, try it out before I start making stuff based on these characters and stories. And if you're, why miss out on the chance to you guys along with me, just for the fun of it? So yeah, might talk about that on the last week as well. So let's see. A muscle Krampus sounds uncomfortable. Yeah, what's up with that? Gosh, you two are goofballs. I love you both. So yeah, I'll see you guys in 2 weeks' time. And yeah, for a whole new year of workshopping, crazy builds, creating wacky characters at our gaming tables, and just other fun times. It's been a wild year. I went from 50-some subscribers to now 402, which may not have been as big as some people try to tell it to, but if you think about it, I almost multiplied my audience by 20 times. So to those like you guys watching right now, thank you for that. It's nice having people to share this with. I've been adoring these conversations. But I'm gonna stop here because I'm gonna get too mushy. I'm gonna save that for the end of the year stream, because oh boy, can I ramble about being just all heartthrobby. You'll see. Anyway, that all said, let's go and wrap this up. It's been a long week, nice weekend ahead of us, so yeah. As always, thank you guys for watching, whether you're in my audience now or watching this later on. Thank you for watching here to the end. As I mentioned in my little kind of outro prior to this, please keep sending your comments, ideas, thoughts. They do me wonders. If you haven't already, consider liking, subscribing, or sharing any of my stuff around. It helps me a lot there too. And if not, yeah, no worries. I get it. Yeah, and Unless I will admit, yeah, I do agree. I feel like I've multiplied my quality there too. I've learned a lot this year, and I think it was a lot to do with me wanting to do the best I can for viewers like you. Yes, you. You know who you are. Anyway, okay. Now here I thought I was being mushy gushing. There, you two are making me all teary-eyed. Is this what it's like to have people love your YouTube stuff? Because I'm not used to it yet. Is that weird? I'm not used to. I mean, I guess for the longest time I've always told myself, fake it till you make it, and I don't see it necessarily like made it yet. But it's weird to have people outside your own head, cheering you on. So I appreciate that. Yeah. Anyway, I got sterile this down. I got to put I think I should go make supper and then put it away. So have a great weekend. Have a great rest of your Friday, and I'll see you in 2 weeks. Oh, yeah. All right, going now. Take care.